Well, why did he choose that body then if he already had the head this whole time?
I mean, he wanted a real girl, I guess.
Right, but I just mean, could have picked anybody, right? And again, the fact that they're doing human experimentation at a pharmaceutical place.
Company.
Hey everybody, welcome back to one of the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, that's not Justin, that is Lessons. Because if you've seen the announcement video that I'm currently still editing, and hopefully I'm doing this in order, and not releasing this before the announcement, Justin has left us. We are trying to keep these in the double reaction format, so Lessons has been good enough to join us for this, so toss your thanks to Lessons. But we do not have the time to go back and start all over again for the third time now. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump Lessons right on into it, which means that for the first episode here, which is episode 9 for him, I'm just going to have to do my best to try and tell him what's happening, which is really hard because this is a murder. This is a murder. This is a mystery, which means that it's very much up to interpretation based on the available information. And I have been good about that so far, but my notes here is completely empty because I delete them after I'm done writing or I'm done saying them out loud. So I'm going to bring up the board, which I've already shown to Lessons. And that is how we're going to start. I don't have any comments from last time. I don't have any notes either, because I figured the notes this time was literally just going to be talking to Lessons about what's going on here. But of course, the very first thing to do before we go down this journey is to thank you, Master Detective, for sponsoring this episode. Once again, without you, we wouldn't... Well, I don't know if Lessons would have ever seen the show, but I know I probably never would have. I haven't even gotten into Bakano yet, which, by the way, have you ever seen Bakano, Lessons?
Heard about it, but no, I haven't seen it.
Have you ever seen Durarara?
No. Seen a lot of... I seen a lot of GIFs and, the bleed from the internet. It's like, oh, yeah, this mostly images of Celti Sturluson.
Well, Durarara and Bakano are from the same author and technically in the same world, but not in the same time or place. So, if you had seen one, it might have informed you a bit on the other. But alright, let's do a little zoom in here on the... Oh, come on. Work with me here. There we go. A little zoom in on the board here as we start going through the characters and the episodes and try and lead you through what the story has been so far. Okay. Mikado here is the first main character. The first episode starts with him arriving at... And this is where I'm already going to fail. I forget the name of the place. This is in that context of this place is a real place in the real world. I want to say Ikikabaru, but that might be wrong off the top of my head.
Ikebara?
Might be. The thing is that it all takes place in this one location. So whatever the name is that I'm forgetting, it is the name of a real location, and you'll probably hear it during this episode because we're not leaving it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cities within the larger Tokyo metropolitan area, because Tokyo itself is multiple towns and cities.
Right.
It's interesting. Not merely suburbs or subsections. I think more of it like the boroughs of New York, right? Which is each one of them is pretty self-contained Manhattan, etc. But more.
I believe a number of them also just carry the name of the subway exit that is tied to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, it starts with him. He's at the subway. He's actually moving to here because apparently his past, he's been a shut-in, and his only friend moved to this location a long time ago, and that is Kita over here, who comes to meet him. Other than that, it's a lot of setup of just these two getting to see one another for the first time. Also, the introduction to what has been the biggest mystery to me so far, which is that almost every background character is gray. They're gray shaded. Like, you don't get to see them. So there's been a wandering question in my mind. why are some characters completely gray background characters, and then some other apparently non-important people are given color? I'm going to bring
World
it
of
up.
Ghost.
I'm going to bring it up now because there's also the element that there is a gang war happening in this location, where the gangs are based on colors. You have the Dollars, which is the only non-color based group, which is apparently the biggest and strongest, maybe. But you also have like yellow, green, whatever. You get introduced to the Kita's friend group, which is sorry, I'm always bad with names. Kodata, Erica, Walker,
Katarota.
and Subaru.
Kadota.
Yeah, these four.
Saburo. Walker. Kyodata. I have to hear it pronounced. Because that.
I don't
It's
remember their
one.
names being said a lot except for this guy, but they're all there.
Oh,
They're all.
Kyohei Kadota. Okay.
I always try to aim for the side of the name that looks like it's easiest for me to pronounce. I don't care. It's first or last names when it comes to me. Also in the first episode, where is she? Where is this girl? Ryu. Ryu is a girl who meets up with. Oh, goddammit, my thing is doing where it won't zoom in and out again. Marita over here. Apparently, they've talked online. He leads her to a van where Kanazawa and Asunuma over here. Not roofie, what is it called? What's the chloroform? They chloroform her and into the back of the van and apparently try to kidnap her. They've got her at a car parking lot sort of thing, one of those structures, which is Celti arrives on their motorcycle, pins one of them face to the wall, knocks them out with the motorcycle, chases the van down, gets into a fight where they have like a giant scythe thing that cuts right through one of the people, but doesn't like injure them physically. It like goes right through them. That's also where you see the helmet comes off and everything. Basically rescues Ryu. I'm trying to make the broad strokes here. I'm not going to go through like everything. You meet Shizu, sort of, in that you see him from a distance, where he tosses a vending machine straight up into the air, like 3 stories up. Apparently, you don't mess with him, is the information we get told. Izaya over here. I'm going to skip to like episode 2 with this. Izaya over here also shows up dealing with Ryu. Ryu is going through this whole problem where she knows that her dad is cheating on her mom. But she like tries to pass down information as though the mom knows it, or that she's trying to trick her parents into figuring it out. But when she actually passes the information on to her mother basically ignores it, which upsets her because she makes it all about her. She starts talking to people online. She thinks that she talks to Morita, but she's actually talking to Isaiah, who lures her into a back alley, up onto a roof, and basically says to jump to your death. She wants to commit suicide just to see what she'll do. And that's basically episode 2 takes place before episode 1 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It leads to that sort of setup that you don't know when things are happening. Celti actually lives with Shinra. He's like a scientist guy or something. And there's an episode specifically dealing with Celti's backstory, where she is a Doulahan from like Ireland who actually migrated here to Japan to try and find her head, because her head is missing. That is Celti's big story. And this dude like he produces like research trying to figure out what Celti is all about and everything, but he is also feels like he's in love with her, even though I didn't do my normal purple line between them. Shinra is the son of Shingen over here, who on the trip from Ireland to Japan convinces Celti to let him do experiments on her, which Shinra is there and present for, where he just cuts open her body and her body like heals back up again. So sort of like an immortality thing, it feels like. There is a whole background episode with Shinzu where you learn that he has no control over his anger, and that his super strength, at an early age at least, came with the price of he constantly broke the bones in his body every time he like did something that required his super strength. I'm only jumping to him because I see down here that's actually his like brother, it looks like, who turned into a famous movie star. And he's only shown up in the background like one episode so far. Shinzu actually, oh yeah, Shinzu actually wears a bartender uniform all the time that his brother gave him, but he doesn't actually work as a bartender. It doesn't seem like anyway. He actually works for Tom, where he like does, what do you call that job when you're like working for like the mob or something and you collect money from people that owe you money?
Uh, Enforcer?
It seems like he's an enforcer for Tom, where Tom is actually going around collecting the money. Shinzu is the muscle. But Shinzu also just hangs around in one part of town that he is told him and Isaiah are enemies. Isaiah seems to have like all these mafia contacts, and he also seems to be super fast. He like flips the knife around all the time, and Shinzu goes to like kick his ass or kill him anytime he sees him in his part of town. Later episodes, we find out that Kita's group of friends are actually part of the Dollars, that gang. Because to join the Dollars, all you do is log onto a website and enter in your personal information, and boom, you're part of the Dollars. So there's no apparent leader of the Dollars. Anyone can join it, which is also very confusing because later on, what's his name, Hiroshi here, and these three girls are hanging around each other, and Hiroshi's claiming to be part of the Dollars, but he's like fake Dollars, and he's not actually part of the Dollars. And I don't understand how you can be part of a fake dollar group if anybody can join the Dollars. Anyway, he gets his ass kicked by Shinzu when he accidentally or intentionally throws a bottle. Oh, part of the group that he's with is there to kick someone's ass, and I think it's because of Isaiah and Isaiah, Kita, and Makito try and save Inari from these three Garu girls from a back alley.
Yeah,
and they embarrass Hirisho, who's literally the kind of character who's got his hand down the front of his pants and has his hat up, down, sideways, like that sort of thing. They embarrass him. He brings all of his buddies to go kick their ass, but they're having a confrontation with Suzu, and one of them gets so nervous that he clubs Shinzu in the back of the head, who starts bleeding from the back of the head. But he then punches the guy so hard, he knocks him out of all of his clothes. Like, he goes flying through the air, clothes falling off of him. You have Simon over here, the black guy, who's actually a Russian guy who works for a sushi restaurant, where they're constantly claiming the other sushi restaurant uses dead people as their sushi. Otherwise, you'll see him on the side corner in any scene that he's in, giving out pamphlets to the sushi restaurant he's in. Anyway, when that fight happens on the road and Shinsu's going crazy, he throws another vending machine, and Simon, Gurren Lagann in my head. Simon catches it, kind of implying that Simon also has super strength or something, unsure, because he also jumps off the top of a building to enter the fight. Let's see. Henri is being sexually harassed by a teacher in her school. Let's see, where are you? Takashi over here. She's being sexually harassed by Takashi, who's a teacher at a school. We see ogling her during a school assembly at one point, but also stops her in the hallway. It's also implied that there was another student at the school that he was also sexually harassing, who went missing, may have left of her own volition to go to a different school, or is actually missing. Mystery. That's why there's a red line connecting him to her, but also from Kita to him, because Kita makes fun of him publicly, like, hey, you're a pedophile or whatever, to try and, like, shoo him away from harassing her in the hallway. Seiji over here shows up for the first day of school. Purple lines, by the way, means you're in the same class. He shows up for the first day of school, apologizes for bothering the class, and says, I'm not coming back to school ever again, so it's not a problem. He is constantly hanging around with Mika, who, I don't know if you can tell by the picture, has a scar going across her neck. And the upper half of her face, or her head rather, is not the same skin tone it looks like from the rest of her body. Apparently they're in love with one another. And I think I can say this because it's feels like the resolution of one of the mysteries. I'm pretty sure that's the Doulahan's head. I'm pretty sure. I maybe am mistaking something from like literally its last episode. It was my theory the whole time, and I'm pretty sure it was revealed last episode that's the Doulahan's head, which then leaves the question: where the fuck is Amika's head? Because Henri is looking for her friend, and she in one episode confuses Mika for her because apparently she looks like her from behind, which could be if that was her body but not her head. Because apparently that might be the girl that goes missing.
I have a theory about all the people you mentioned so far, based on the fact that everybody in the background is gray. But I won't say until I watch this episode and see if I can.
I mean, I'd
get
love to
a
hear it
read on
because I've had so many theories, and then there's always like one or two things that like destroy the theory, or at least make it not seem viable. I'm just trying to rush through here to at least give you like one or two things for everybody. Dennis works at the same sushi place as Simon. I don't have much more information. Oh, Saki. We've seen Saki in a hospital room with Zaya. Apparently, they're good friends, or I can't remember. I don't think they're related. I just think they're good friends. Right, different last names. They're good friends. Kita has been hanging around outside of Saki's hospital room. Like every so often, he's just there looking up. She's looking back at him. Apparently, they used to be boyfriend and girlfriend. But Kita is constantly hitting on other women, trying to find his true love or something like that. And I don't remember if they told us why Saki is in the hospital room. Shuji is an investigative reporter that's asking a lot of people questions. That's his seemingly homebound daughter, who is... There are chat message things going on, like beginning and end of episodes, where people are talking about stuff that's happening. And I think she's like a crazy person that just logs in and spams the room every so often. Who else do we have? The painter is just somebody who saw the Doulahan when they were younger in Ireland and also moved here. Who else? I've already said Tom. Kaztano is just a scalper who sells tickets to stuff. That's why he's a friend of Saburo over here, because he usually sells tickets to Saburo for Ruri, that are an idol. They do a concert thing. Kaztano gets kidnapped by the three from before who kidnapped Rio in the past, because apparently they kidnap foreigners for something. I think they may be tied to Nami Yugari over here, who is actually also Seji's sister, who runs a medicinal clinic, is what I want to say. They might be experimenting and shit. I believe they're a huge thing, because the last episode they got attacked by somebody who blamed them for somebody who went missing. I don't know if he ran in there with fireworks strapped to his chest or actual explosives. The fact is he activated them and he's still alive, so I think they made some fireworks. Who am I missing? Have I not said somebody specifically? Seemed it was just some kid that helped them out during the whole Castano abduction thing. I think I'm at the limit of my memory here. I think I've hit you with a lot of fast information that probably doesn't sink in that well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, my whole subway thing, all of these people are connected together in one way or another. The fact that Seam doesn't have any lines connected to him is just because I keep forgetting to tie him in. Again, he's an ally to the group of kids that are like all turned out to be dollars, and sold out the three guys who have kidnapped two people so far.
Yeah. I have a theory, but I'm going to watch the episode and they're going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, like I said, glad to hear
I
it.
could be... that ties everything together.
It could be. I've had, I think, 4 theories so far of my own, and 2 different ones from Justin. And I don't think any. Well, Justin's theories, I'm not going to tell you any of them, Rich. I want to hear what yours is, as separate from me telling you. But Justin had 2 different theories. What are completely unsatisfying if true, but also so vague as anything could have been that. So I want to hear yours when we get to the end. But other than that, you have anything that you want to throw in before we get into 9 episodes deep as your first episode watch?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do it.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I said it's one of the best openings of all the anime we're currently watching. I would, in fact, possibly say the best. Oh, I will say, here, the one thing the show does is the opening, halfway through the opening, it's going to keep going, but it's also going to do a recap in the opening of what happened last episode at some point. Also, it's introducing you to all the characters anyway, like I just tried to do. But I'm also trying to do my normal thing of talking over every opening as I wait for it to get to the...
I think maybe it isn't what I thought it was. Because I saw the gray people, but the gray people reacted to what was happening with the bike. So
That was literally the first thing that threw me off.
yeah.
In the first episode, is the main character bumps into one, and it looks back at him and then moves on. Okay, here we go.
自分の顔も忘れてしまいそうなんだぞ。
矢切製薬ね。
本当にここなんすかね。人体実験してるの。
Pharmaceutical company, that's what I got wrong.
お金はいくらでも好きなように使えばいいのよ。
今の僕らが永遠なんだ。愛してるよ。
Okay, yeah, he even calls her Celti, so confirmation that is the Doulahan's head. Which thankfully I think I called from episode 1. Because our main guy walks around a corner right at the end of episode 1 and bumps into her, and I was like, she's got a scar across her neck, she's got to be the Doulahan's head. It's the Yagari sister?
みんな偽物。世の中に溢れてる。
See, gray
愛
people.
してるとか好きとか言って束縛するだけ。こっちを向いて、そばにいて、求めるだけ、甘えるだけ。私の愛は違う。もっと広くて、もっと完全なもの。
I mean, the only person that we've seen her express any love for so far has been her brother, and that was a picture of him.
分かってるよ姉さん。振り込みありがとう。じゃあまた。何か飲み物でも買ってこようか。ほら、すぐあそこに見える自販だよ。
And I might be misremembering, but I believe there was something between him and Henri as well.
待ってて。
Okay.
We've spent like no time with these two, other than the revelation last episode. Because otherwise they've just been like wandering.
まだ見つかってないの
I have no idea what the motivation there is.
申し訳ございません。
一体監視役は何をしていたの
昨晩の担当が言うに。
Okay, yeah, no. I don't think, yeah. When you mentioned the gray people, I thought something else, but no. My theory has just been shot to pieces.
もし何かあったら
I'll tell you when this episode is over. But
Yeah, no, exactly.
you can work with them.
すぐに 見つかるかと。
Yeah, that's the name of the place.
いい？もしあれ
I
が
knew it
警
was a
察
double
の
K
見つけでも
sound.
したら、私たちはどうなると思う？
それは。
もういいわ。あなたたちを待ってられない。
主任。
すぐに戻ります。私にとってあれはただの人形だった。おじが昔よく買ってくれたような舶来の高価で綺麗な人形たち。幼い頃から私
If
は
I
人
know
形
who
が
their
好きだ
uncle
よ
is, I don't remember.
多分おじは私を喜ばせるためではなく、ただ自分が気に入っ
Unless
た
their
ものを
uncle
送り続け
is
ていたのだ
Shinra's
と思う。
dad. Because he also traveled overseas, and he is a medical guy, and they're a pharmaceutical place.
綺麗でしょ？さあ、こっちは何かな？何？
家の中は静まり返っていて、私と聖司はいつも二人きり。弟が生まれる前から、私はおじの家に預けられることも多く、書斎にも自由に出入りしていた。
Yeah, I would say if a young Shinra shows up anywhere around here,
あ
that
れ
would.
はそこにあった。外国から密輸入したというあれを、おじは見入られたように眺めている。
That's the head, huh?
時々話しかけたり
Yeah,
もするのだ。
Celti's been missing it for a really long
確か
time.
に美しかった。おじがくれたどんな人
It's hard to
形よ
tell.
りも
We saw she was missing it, and she was wearing like medieval armor once, so.
まるで首だけで一つの生き物であるように思えた。でも私にとってはそれだけ。だからあの日、弟を書斎にこっそり招き入れたのは、ただいつもの遊びのつもりだったし、
He fell in love with
秘
it.
密を共有したかっただけかもしれない。
ねえ、綺麗でしょ？はあ。
それがすべての始まり。私のたった一つ、そして未だに続く後悔。
So he stole the head, or did she install it and the girl?
Not sure who the dad is to know if they stole it or this is just like all a thing.
The uncle.
Yeah, well, their dad. Oh no, yeah, the uncle. Yeah, you're right.
矢切奈美恵さん。嬉しい。
Isaiah. Oh, never
矢
mind.
切製薬大
He's
学
like, he's not the
研修
uncle.
に
What the hell,
わざ
I
わざ
think.
こんな無さいところまでおいでいただけるとは。どうぞ、その辺に適当にかけて。
So I didn't bring it up, but in Yohan the overlay, I always have a representation of us.
弟の居場所を突き止めて。
There's no like art drawn for this or anything, but I've got Isaiah representing me in this show, and you've got Shinzu under you, guy who throws heavy objects.
どこかにいるはず。
まだそんなに時間が経ってないじゃない。なんでそんなに心配なの？
女と一緒にいる。首の周りに傷跡がある女。
女？はは、そういうお年頃だよ。
すぐ動いて。
ちょっと待ってよ。
He has a Mac
調べた方がいい
on his
大
desk.
事なことがたくさんあるんじゃないの？
Confused who works for who in this.
外資系のネブラって大企業に吸収されちゃうかもって噂だよね。
I think Nebula was the American company. We've only been referenced
おし
before.
ゃべりしている暇はないの。
意外だな。あんたのような優秀な女性が弟愛とはね。
私の何を知ってる
So exactly what I thought it
俺の
was.
知ってる矢切奈美恵さんは偉い女だよ。だって、
Yeah, that's
いくら
not
同族
great.
会社だからって、あんたの親父さんはヘマやって失墜しちゃった
So
し。
she literally started with, "My love is a different kind of love," and you don't have to explain shit like that unless something weird's going
自
on.
分の力で会社に入って若くしてここまでの立場になったんだ。しかもこんな美人で。
さすがよく知ってるのね。あなたなら弟を探すのもわけないわね。
弟ね。あんまり干渉しすぎるのはよ
The other thing I wanted to bring up
干
that I
渉なん
forgot to
かじゃ
bring
ない
up,
わ。
if their dad or their uncle is Shinra's
自
dad,
分だけは
we've
気づかない
never
らしい
seen
よね
Shinra's dad above
ストー
the
カーってさ
bust line.
守ってやってるつ
He's
もり
always been
なんだって
like hidden face.
私をストーカーなんかと一緒にしないで。
怖っ。冗談じゃない。よし、協力しましょう。ただし、俺のやり方でね。警察と情報屋は違うんだから。
Seems like you're playing a
Go
number of
and-
games.
どういうことなのよ。
一つ聞くけ
Go,
ど
Shoji,
そのまま
chess.
首に傷
I
が
don't
あ
know
る
if I saw a
女に
checkers piece or not.
焼き餅焼いてんの
どうして？
うんうん
あの子に嫉妬するはずない。私の胸を焼く赤く錆びついた嫉妬は。
姉さん、俺、好きな子がいるんだ。
政治の様子がだんだんおかしくなっていったのは
But why do you choose that body then if you already had the head this whole time?
書斎に忍び込んではあれを夢中で見つめていた。
I mean, he wanted a real girl, I guess.
Right, but I just mean,
体さえなく。
could have picked anybody, right? And again, the fact that they're doing human experimentation at a pharmaceutical
政治
place.
に遠ざけたくて入社してすぐ私はおじに頼み込み。
I think it has to
あれ
be
を研究対象と
Shinra's
して
dad.
社に置いた。
Because he's the one who experimented on her body, and the body had regeneration.
それからだ。ネブラの接触が始まり、研究を漏らさないよう私が躍起になっている時に、セキュリティカードが盗まれた。私だけが持っていたカードが。
姉さん、俺、人を殺しちゃったかもしれないんだ。
Yeah, so he picked the body, I guess.
その時私の胸に浮かんだのは、恐怖でも怒りでもなく、果てしない喜びだった。政治が必要としているのは私。
Oh, I thought she might have been happy that he killed the head, possibly.
Oh, so her brother's a psychopath. Okay.
あなたは何にも心配することはない。全部姉さんに任せて。ね。
あの女じゃなくて、彼女のことなんだけど。
やっぱり政治が連れ出していたのね。大丈夫よ。彼女のことも私に任せなさい。
I mean, unless the head has a regenerative property when it's put on a neck.
I suppose so. That's how it would work.
ハリマミカという頭の悪いストーカー女が付きまとっていることを。
Oh, okay, so it is the missing girl. Because I think they said the missing
Yeah.
girl was also a stalker
あれを見ら
in
れ
a
た
previous episode. The one that was
So
also
he-
being abused by the teacher.
私があなたを守る。
ああ、はい、はい。
Okay. So he killed his stalker.
Sounds that way.
もうじきあんたに電話がかかってくるんじゃないかな。
The one who's
So,
been
okay,
missing
the-
for a long time.
いや、警察
Yeah.
平気平気。大したことないって。
I get this is a web work of people who are interconnected with one another.
And all of them are bad, basically.
No.
Kidnappers.
Well, maybe. I suspect something
Murderers.
bad about Kita, but I don't know that yet. Yeah, no, I certainly don't think this is an everyone's bad scenario. I do
That has
enjoy
to
the
make sense.
metaphor of everyone's playing a different game.
何どうしたの行くの
Oh, she can't speak.
まだ。待って。
But who's
Celti
in charge?
uses a phone to text. So she texts
Uh-huh.
things on a phone and holds it out to you to read it. She can't talk either.
ずっと。
Because she doesn't have a head.
Yeah.
怖い。
But that means that
何が
well, she can
お願
talk.
い。どこか遠くへ。
僕だって君と二人きりでいたいよ。だけど、どこへ
なんだあれシワ喧嘩か
Hey, Celti, it's your fucking head. Celti expressed in the flashback or in the recap that she was afraid she might forget what her head looked like.
ああ落ち着いてください俺たちは別に怪しいもんじゃないから話を聞いててめあ
彼女を離せ。
Again, there's the element of this dude has broken his body so many times by overreacting with his super strength that
He doesn't have any pain.
yeah, he's been in the hospital so many freaking times.
ここは俺に任せて先に行けってね。待て。
Which begs the question: who's in control of the body? Is the girl who was the stalker
Oh,
in
Celtic is,
control
I
of the
assume.
body? No, because why would she want to run away from her own body?
Because she doesn't want to be with the body anymore. I think that's some sort of unwritten thing that's going on. I don't really kind of understand that either.
Oh,
あの子、
Oh.
君の彼女
So I can only think that band belongs to those three guys.
彼女、なんであんなんなの
Because if so, that might be Isaiah. See, all these gray people are reacting to shit, but they're not.
他に答えなんかない。愛を言葉に置き換えることなんかできやしない。だから俺は。
But look at those people. They were in color.
yeah.
I think maybe they were the Gara girls. I can't tell.
イザヤよりはずっと気に入った。だからこれで勘弁してやる。
Just covered in pens.
ああ、抜いたら血が出るよな、これ。絆創膏買ってから抜こう。いや、瞬間接着剤の方がいいか。
Oh yeah. So the police is involved.
Well, this is the
And they're
most
in color.
interconnection between any of the characters we've ever gotten. There's Shinra. Everyone else has been like in their own friend groups, so we've never actually seen them all this interconnected.
君の首を連れ去っていった。そんな世まい事を信じろって？
無理に信じろとは言わない。
信じるよ。でもなんでそこに静雄くんが？
ああ、すっかり忘れていたけど、イザヤからの仕事で公園に待機していたんだ。そこに
Oh, that's right. Isaiah also hires her for a lot of jobs.
結局その仕事はドタキャンになったって後から連絡が入ったからいいんだ。
Like Isaiah organized Ryu to get kidnapped, but Isaiah also organized Celti to rescue her, to bring her to the roof, where he would then try to instruct her to jump off and kill herself. He's the web of deceit himself.
まあ、実際に見ていない僕が何を言っても白川よ船だが、推測でもよければ。例えば、体格の合いそうな女の子を見つけて、適当に首をすげ替えたんじゃないかな。
おぞましいことを。
出来たてほやほやの死体があったと。
Also, arguably, I don't think she has the same build.
やめてくれ。
No. Not in that bodysuit. She doesn't.
私がしたことは間違ってな
Oh,
か
I
った。
don't know if it means anything, but like last episode, Celti had an ability where she could encapsulate something in the smoke coming from her neck,
大丈夫よ。もう
seal it up.
怖かったわね。でも何も問題なかったじゃない。あの子がここを逃げ出して、聖司と一緒になった時も、私の愛は何も揺るがなかった。私の愛を踏み台にして聖司の愛があり、聖司はそれを知っていて、知っていることを私も知っている。
These are very fucked up people, I gotta say.
それでも。
Well, it's an ensemble cast. You haven't seen what's been kind of our main group so far, which is more normal-ish.
ともかくライラの子を見つけ出す。それから首と会って話すしかない。
君を見て悲鳴しかあげなかった首と一人の人間として生きているらしい首をどうしようっていうの。君のためにその首を
I guess that other girl was just dead. The missing girl's just been dead this whole time.
Yeah.
セルティ、
認めたくないんだ。私の首と私の記憶は失われたと。自分のしてきたことがこの20年間が全て無駄だったなんて。
無駄なんかじゃないさ。
絶対に彼女を取り戻してみせるから。
I don't know if said it. Shinra has a thing for Celti. It's going nowhere. So.
あね、携帯は落としたの？
Also, he helped cut her open when he was with his dad, so he's really old. He was a real little kid.
そうなのね。いいのよ。全部姉さんに任せて。なんてずうずうしい。人形は人形らしく、おとなしくしていればよかったのだ。私の愛を邪魔せずに。決めた。もう後悔だけはしたくない。二度と。いい？下の連中全員にすぐ連絡を回して、生死は問わないわ。
Oh, okay.
場合によってはそのまま処理してしまいなさい。
During one episode, there was a couple of people in suits that were chasing behind two of our other main characters that haven't appeared in this episode. And I was like, who the hell are people in suits? Because we haven't been introduced in it yet. But all the guys in this pharmaceutical company have suits, so maybe it was them.
So he's the one manipulating everything, huh?
I guess.
楽しみだな、楽しみだな。この街は情報屋の俺でも知らないことがまだまだまだ溢れ、生まれ消えていく。これだから人間の集まる街は離れられない。人ラブ。俺は人間が好きだ。愛してる。だからこそ人間の方も俺を愛するべきだよね。
I don't think he's human.
It's interesting you say that. When he brings Ryu to the roof to see if she'll jump. There's also a blood stain in the alley, by the way, implying he's brought other people here and they have jumped. He says, I just want to see what humans do.
Yeah. Either he's already broken, or he is not human.
I think he is human, though. I thought it was interesting he said that.
Like a god of mischief or something.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
いや、いいのいいの。謝らないで。
行かなきゃ。あの人。
Alright, the guy she's with right now, he's one of those main characters that I was mentioning before that we haven't seen. Normally he'd be hanging out with Kita and all of them. But in the first episode, he bumped into her in the alleyway. Again, it's a very intricate web work of character relationships. I mean, what are your thoughts so far?
It's intriguing, but I don't think this is up to my speed. That doesn't seem to be the kind of thing I will be into. I'm not saying it's wrong or bad. It's just like, because my theory was all these people are dead.
I've already thought that before, and I don't. No, I don't think it was me. I think that was one of Justin's. One of Justin's two nebulous and unsatisfying theories.
That they're living in a parallel world of the dead, but then they have underlings. They control companies.
Right.
It's too sophisticated.
His other one was it's all a dream. It's just like those are the Well, I mean. I think,
first of all, whose dream would it be? Celti's?
Could be, yeah. I mean, could be a number of them. But one of mine was gang-related. That anyone in the gray was not in a gang, because we haven't seen the gang-related stuff yet.
Okay.
But bunch of the characters are foreign. Like, they don't come from here. They're just tourists. One of
Yeah.
them is the school teacher, who's like a 90-year-old man, it looks like. So
首なしライダーに折原いざや首に傷のある女の子がまた現れて、おまけに隣のクラスの彼はダラーズで、次回空前絶後。普通じゃない生活を夢見てたけど。
it is very involved. Like every episode I watch, I feel like I'm getting slightly closer to, not like the Macross 7 way that I'm constantly bringing up.
Yeah, no.
Like every one of these, like I feel like every scene is another bit of the clue. Like I'm pretty sure that their uncle is going to be Shinra's dad, which is funny from the perspective that Shinra's in love with the body, but they've got the head, and the other guy's in love with the head. They've been close to Shinra. Shinra has been close to Celti in body form since he was a little kid. Because obviously she's like an immortal Doulahan things, right? So age doesn't really mean anything to her.
Mm.
I mean, I would suspect then that the Yagari Pharmaceutical Company has something to do with the dad, because the dad wanted to do medical experiments on Celti's body way back when she was migrating from Ireland. But then what is Nebula? Because Nebula, I think we've only heard like background name once or twice, so you're not like missing anything there.
Yeah, American company or a foreign company.
Right, but if Shinra's dad is constantly crisscrossing the world, which is why I think it might be their uncle, because that's what she's saying, their uncle does that all the time too, then could he not have an American company subsidiary or franchise or just a completely different company?
So I can guess why he's experimenting on the duel. I mean, if it's an immortal being, he wants to find a way to copy it, or it's a pharmaceutical company,
Right,
right?
but it doesn't seem like they're doing anything with either of them. Like, they had the head locked up for a long time, but they aren't doing anything with it. And if Shinra is... Oh, we know Shinra's the guy's son. The uncle might not be the same guy, but Shinra's dad is the one who did the experimentation and isn't actively doing anything with the body, which is the thing they experimented on and proved regenerated.
Yeah.
Shinzo, I don't know if I mentioned before, in the growing up thing, he hung out with Shinra all the time. So he's had contact with Celti before. He seems to be friendly to Celti, helping her out occasionally, like telling her she's going in the wrong direction or something.
Yeah.
Shinra's also hung out with Tom before, Tom being the guy that Shinzo works for. So there's not a connection missing. Oh, when they were in school, like high school, Izaya would constantly mess with Shinzo. Like, to the point that he's crisscrossed him with knives before, like scarring up his chest. And Shinzo constantly tried to kill him, which is why he tries to kill him anytime he sees them in the area of the town that they're all in. Okay. He's not supposed to be here. I don't think Izaya is going to turn out to be not human, though. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel right. Like, every time I've ever tried to think about the people in gray, I can't figure it out, but there's a bunch of answers that just don't feel right.
I mean, clearly he's superhuman if he's so fast he can't be caught, right?
I don't know that he's so fast that he can't be caught. Just a couple of times we've seen him in fight territory, he's gotten out of there pretty quick. Not like the Flash quick, just like he was there and suddenly he's jumped backwards really fast. Because again, it seems like it's just the dichotomy of things, right? Shinzo's super strong, and this guy is just fast enough to not get hit by that super strength. Because there hasn't been like any super fight scenes or anything. Like I described before, the guy clubs Shinzo over the back of the head and then gets punched out of his clothes, and then hurls a vending machine at somebody, and Simon jumps down from the top of a building. Oh, that's right, because he was apparently delivering food there. So he jumps off the building and stops the vending machine in mid-throw. We then follow the characters who were being harassed and running away. We don't stick around for the fight. because it's not about that. Like I said, I think this has been maybe the most or second most mystery development episode, in that I think things are coming to a head, even though there's a lot of seasons to the show. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you appreciate solving mysteries and deep character introspections, this might actually be up your alley, even though you said it's not, based on, again, we are throwing you in at episode 9.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I don't know. I maybe I like some story with more clear lines. Who's who and
Again,
what's
you're on
going
episode 9, as I feel the problem, because this whole I love my brother thing, we've only met her once before, and like that was 30 seconds at the end of an episode where you see her in an office where she turns and looks at her picture, like, and smiles, and it's like, oh, what? That's the other guy. Like, there was no connection between them before then. The whole running around with that girl throughout, like, we're hanging out now in this episode with people we've spent very little time with. The guy and the girl, they've walked through the city maybe a total of 3 minutes total runtime of the episodes before. Last episode was literally just the that she's Celti reveal. And that was maybe a minute of them looking out over the city where he literally turns and tells, I love you, Celti. Because otherwise, that was just a big reveal. Otherwise, we've been dealing with a bunch of characters that were not in this episode. And I said, a lot of other interconnected bits that didn't really reflect here, like Kita and that girl that's in the hospital that Isaiah hangs out with. The fact that Isaiah helps Makito when he's in the trouble in the alley, and for no apparent reason, but Kita is also there. So he's associated with the girl that used to be Kita's girlfriend. I don't know, there's so much going on. I can feel the back of my head expanding a little bit as my brain swells with the pain of trying to figure it out. Every connection on that little roadmap board thing that I showed you matters. Keep in mind that we only watch one episode of this a month at the moment, as is requested by the Patreon. Once again, thank you to Master Detective, apropos name, for this. I don't know, it's so involved and it's so mystery laden that it feels like the perfect show for me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's very, very specifically do you not like about it? I know you've said a couple of times, but I'm not like picking up on it immediately.
Well, it seems that there's nobody I can center myself in. Maybe Celti, but everyone else seems to be so rotten. They're like, I don't care about these people at all.
I feel like
if
next month the focus goes back to the characters we've been with, those are the characters you'd focus with more, because again, the main guy who just moved here, his only trait really that he's actually working past already is that he is basically a shut-in who's now coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So that Kita was his only friend, and now he's like interacting with other people. He's talking to people again. He's your point of view character, I feel like. Where Kita feels like he's like hitting on people a lot, but he's not like doing it offensively. Like, he jumps out in front of girls, gets on his knees, and begs them to go on a date, but then continues walking along. He's just like, well, I lost that one. That sort of thing. But the idea is that it seems like there's more going on behind the scenes for him that we just haven't been introduced yet. Again, hospital girlfriend, who he's never once mentioned, that Isaiah hangs out with, but he walks past the hospital to look up at her room, and then is gone by the time she looks out the window. His friend group, which is apparently part of the Dollars, but that gets introduced like 2-3 episodes ago. Because apparently anybody can be part of the Dollars, as I've mentioned. But they help people that, like, we've seen them in a car chase before when one of their friends gets abducted by the kidnappers, where they save them from the kidnappers. Otherwise, they just seem to be really into manga. Like when they're threatening one of the kidnappers to give them information, they use the names of a bunch of manga as names for like torture that they'll do to this person if they don't tell them the information that they want. Like I said, there's a lot of people that on the surface seem normal. This episode, we spent a lot of time with people that you would obviously not find to be normal.
You know, I mean, the guy who killed his stalker and then had her head of another person who happens to be a supernatural creature in the place of it. That by itself is messed up beyond all belief. It's
Again,
like,
this is the combination of so many little things that have been. I want to say the stalker thing, maybe it's had 2 to 3 minutes of screen time to address it. Then we had a conversation with, I think, Henri at a park where they were eating ice cream, and they're, I think, discussing maybe the pervert teacher. And then she mentions that she had a friend that he was messing with before who went missing, and they think that she maybe like went to a different school to get away from him. And then she just offhandedly references that she was also like a stalker, like implying that her friend, even though she was being messed with, wasn't so great herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. So suddenly, oh, there's a girl who's dead and happened to be a stalker. That would explain if a stalker girl suddenly went missing. So it's like putting together like 2-minute clues in a show filled with 2-minute clues. I hate to be that guy, Lessons, but I think this could be your kind of show in a couple of months.
Yeah. I won't dismiss it out of hand, but it's didn't make a great impression to me.
Well, I feel like, again, it's a bit disingenuous to well, not disingenuous, it's harsh to throw you in on like episode 9 on a show which is literally built on noticing background clues and character interactions and the minor things people say that don't seem to be super important but turn out to be, like I said here, the impetus of entire characters. And to throw you in without you actually getting to know any of this build-up information first. You didn't get to have the journey. You showed up at the haunted house in mid-yell where someone was getting frightened. You're like, that's not scary at all. Well, you weren't here when we were running through the house with the guy chasing us with a chainsaw. So
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm hoping with time this can become something. Because like I said, there's been no show that I've enjoyed more for the mystery build-up. Like, I've said the same thing 5 times in a row. Yeah, I just can't say. It's a bunch of 2-minute mysteries all combining together, and it's starting to hit payoff. And the payoff is right where it all is. It's very exciting. It's very exciting for me. So, final thought? Want to throw out one last gray person theory?
No. I because everything that it was with the gray, if the gray people and the police show up, yeah, it you would have to really go out of your way to justify that everything is. I was thinking because people have superpowers and stuff like that. People are very strong, don't feel pain. That like, oh, these people are all dead, and they're sort of in a parallel, dead world from
Again, very
from
first
everyone
episode,
else.
the main guy bumps into a guy who then looks back and then keeps walking. It's like, so automatically they're in the same world.
Yeah, basically, it might be just because there's so many characters. It might be.
I think if you're going to say cost cutting.
No, stylistic choice.
Okay, well, I'm going to put that in the same realm as cost cutting. I think.
No, because.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying.
Have them stand out. Yeah,
I know what you're saying, but they do. I'm going to put that in the no category on my end. Obviously, I'm not going to say it's no for any reason, but on my end, only because they have characters that seemingly have no importance whatsoever, drawn full in color. Like the two girls that were just on the top of the on the subway tunnel thing, that were in color, talking to whatever they ran into for no reason.
Well, no, they seem to have. Those two girls say something like they recognize Celti.
We also had two
So they might-
Russian
they might be-
tourists that walk into Simon that we never saw before and we've never seen again, that were in color as well. Like I said, the who's in color and who's in gray, I cannot find a single through line that answers every question with yes. Why is they like this?
Yeah.
So I think, like you said, I think we've already had the "are they alive or dead" thought before, and it doesn't answer yes to every question you ask.
Yeah, or most of them.
Well, the problem is it has to answer every question with yes, otherwise, or it has to answer, does this fit? It has to answer every question yes, otherwise, if there's a loophole, all we have is the most accurate answer so far, not the definitive answer. I mean, because otherwise you could say, yeah, they are all dead. Poltergeists touch things.
Yeah, but poltergeists don't get arrested by the police.
We didn't see the police though. All we saw was the lights in the distance.
No. 2 police officers got out and they were in color, blue uniforms.
Oh, well, I missed that then.
Yeah.
There was so much to focus on here. There was so much to focus on here if you had been on the journey so far. If you've been on the journey so far, like every minute and a half was like a connective. Oh, that's a line. That's a line. That's a line. What's that guy doing here by himself?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that is that for us today. Once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?